Hi everyone, welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. Today we're doing a Semifreddo, which is an Italian dessert. It's an ice cream, and what I love about it is that you don't need an ice cream machine. It's super easy to make, because I don't have an ice cream machine, so it works perfectly well. And it's so fast to put together. Literally the longest part, the most effort is done by the freezer. But anyway, I'll just take you quickly over the ingredients for this particular one, and then I'm just going to briefly discuss with you how you can change it up. What I've got here is 4 eggs and 1 egg yolk, and I'm going to put it in a heat-proof bowl over simmering water. The water's not simmering, I'm going to bring it to the stove. So we're going to add that in with 65 grams of sugar. I know that's a weird amount. It's a 1/4 cup plus a tablespoon, pretty much. So we're going to add that in. Now, and then we're going to be whisking it constantly until the sugars dissolve. But before we do that, I just wanted to go over the other ingredients. I want to add some chocolate chips in, just feeling it, but you could leave it out easily. And I've got here 1 tablespoon of vanilla bean paste. And I like the vanilla bean paste because it's got the specks of vanilla and it's got that powerful vanilla flavor. And I'm also going to include, whoops, for some reason it's here, I really like peppermint ice cream. I love peppermint. I don't have any mint right now. I don't have any mint leaves, but peppermint extract just does the job. I love peppermint ice cream, so I don't care if it's not Christmas, I'm gonna have it. But you can completely leave it out. You could add almond extract. You could add coffee the instant espresso, like a tablespoon or 2 of that, or a coffee extract, which is becoming a little more common now. But yeah, it's just endless, the possibilities. You could add cocoa powder. You could melt this chocolate, and then, like, really, it's endless possibilities. But I just want to show you that this is completely, you can do it to your liking. What you're going to need, though, is a loaf pan, and you're going to want to put a piece of plastic wrap in the bottom and around, because if you don't, then you won't be able to get it out once it's done freezing. Anyway, so I'm going to just grab a little whisk here. I'm going to bring this to the stove. I've got my eggs and my granulated sugar in this bowl, and it's going to be over simmering water. I'm going to mix it together for about 5 minutes, basically until the granules dissolve in the egg yolks, and then we'll move on to the next step. Sorry for the poor camera angle, but I'm just whisking it together. I'll just show you. I'm mixing the sugar and the eggs together. You need to whisk constantly because you don't want to curdle your eggs. And you're going to want to whisk this, as I mentioned, for about 5 minutes until the sugars dissolve in the egg. Alright, so the sugar has now dissolved in our egg mixture. So we're just going to set this aside and let it cool just a little bit. There we go. So that part's done. That was easy. So now the next part, we are going to take 1 cup and 3/4 of a cup. So 1 3/4 cups. That would be about just over 400 milliliters, 440 or so. Yeah, 3/4 of a cup, or 1 cup and 3/4. Just forget what I just said. We're going to beat this until it's not stiff, but has tracks, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So I've just beaten the whipped cream, and you can see it's just like it forms tracks when I put my spatula through, but it's not stiff. We're not making whipped cream. We want it to be stiff peaks. So now what we're going to do is add in our eggs and sugar, just right in, just like so. Make sure you get it all. And we're simply going to fold this throughout, and that should only take a second. And while you're doing that, you can add the flavoring of your choice. As I mentioned, I'm going to add about a tablespoon. I'm just going to get mini spatula here because the vanilla is so thick, it leaves behind a lot, but vanilla bean paste is not cheap, so you want to make sure you're using absolutely every drop. Even getting some from the tablespoon I used. There we go. And I did say I'm going to add some peppermint extract, so I'm going to. It's going to contribute to an intense minty flavor. And you can add the amount of chocolate chips that you want, based on what you're looking for. You can see it's really starting to come together, and you can see, I hope you can see properly, you can see the specks of vanilla in here, and that's what I love. And if you've seen my previous videos, you know I absolutely love vanilla bean paste. Make sure you go right from the bottom because you want to make sure that everything is fully incorporated. And you can add chocolate chips if you want, which is what I'm doing. It's completely optional. It's by no means a requirement. And everything's now incorporated. Now that that's all done, now is the final step. We're going to pour this in here, hopefully responsibly. And you can see I could have mixed this a little bit better, but I'm not going to make a fuss. I ain't going to make a fuss. This is going to be delicious. The only problem is I've got to wait. So this is now done. So now this is going to go into the freezer for at least 4 to 6 hours, preferably overnight. And once the 4 or 6 hours has passed, you should put it in the refrigerator just to soften a bit. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Just a side note, if you wanted to add like a dusting of cocoa powder on top, you can do that. Some crushed graham crackers, whatever it is you're doing. This is one of those recipes where you're in complete control of the types of ingredients you can use. It's so easy to put together, and trust me, you're never going to want to go back to your ice cream parlor because you'll just realize how easy it is to make this at home. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the freezer, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. I snuck downstairs because I'm with my family, but I gave the Semifreddo a try. I put it in the freezer only for 4 hours and then took it out for 1 hour in the fridge to soften, and it tastes delicious. It's very smooth and it's got a peppermint flavor. It is subtle. I'm actually a little surprised. Because peppermint extract is usually very strong, so I had the impression that it would be, that 1 teaspoon would be enough, but I probably would have added a little more for a stronger mint flavor. But it's very delicious. And as you saw, so easy to make. And you can do it any time. And you can try out different combinations, different flavors to whatever you like. I really hope you give this a try. Thanks for watching.